Are you interested in touring? Are you interested in how bands and crew members survive on the road? Then guess what? This short clip is not only for you, but it's for you. I don't know. That didn't make any sense. What's happening, roadies? Larry Milburn here from Roadie Free Radio, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of the music and film industry. And my guest this week is Mr. Greg Jacobs, author of the book Hell on Wheels, a Tour Stories compilation. Listen, if you've been following this channel, you know that I read for several months a chapter. Where is the book, man? A chapter out of this book right here, Hell on Wheels, a Tour Stories compilation. And every week I'd read a new chapter. It's a great little book, came out in the early 90s. I used it as inspiration when I was writing my short film Roadie. And these are just some sick bands. You got to check it out. Look for the playlist here on this channel. There are 34 at least stories here. You can get a copy of this book by clicking the Amazon link in the description below. And Greg came on the show after I wrapped up the whole series to tell us about how he wrote this original book and, most importantly, how the new book, which will be coming out in spring of 23 through the University of Hell Press, compares to this one. I'll tell you how it compares. There's like 54 new stories, 54 new bands. It's going to be awesome. It was really great to have Greg on the show and also really great to be able to do this short series. So in today's clip with Greg, we talk about the genesis of that first book, why he did it, how he started, and all that good stuff. If you want to listen to the full episode, go ahead and click that link in the description below. And you can also listen wherever you get your podcast, wherever your favorite place is to get your podcast. So go ahead and do that. And here we go with Mr. Greg Jacobs.
Call yourself a roadie?
So let's dive into the book, man. Let's talk about this first version, the genesis of this first version, why you chose to write it, and how it came about. And of course, then why you picked these bands.
Sure. Okay. People kind of give me a hard time about the first book when I tell them how it came about, because there are people that really wanted to be published authors. I just happened to be sharing an office in San Diego with a book publisher. And he published 3 or 4 books. He was the only author on his publishing company. And he yelled through the wall one day and said, "Hey, dude, do you have an idea for a book? I need a different author on my label than just me." And that's the truth. We can get him on the phone if you want. And I said no at first because I was an art major in school. I'm not a literature guy, and you'll learn that by my vocabulary and anything you may see that I write myself. But honestly, I mentioned the book idea to my mother, and she said, the bands you're managing, you love it when they come home from tour or when you go out on tour with them. There's always great stories and you love to hear those stories. Why don't you compile a book of tour stories? So honestly, it was my mom's idea for the book.
Gotta love moms.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's got a big dedication in the new one too, and she's still with us. So
good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, incidentally.
And the way
I'm sorry, incidentally, to hear about your dad. I lost my dad last year. Also, I know what it's like, man.
Thanks. Yeah, it sucks. His anniversary is coming up on June 28th. It'll be a year. I can't believe it's been that long already.
Yeah, we already hit a year, and we had to wait because of COVID to have like a celebration of life thing. We just did that a couple months ago, and it was actually nice to have that kind of pause in everything and then do the celebration of life, because it sort of kept the emotions in check. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know. I'm sorry to hear about that.
It's tough. It's all good, man. You too.
Yeah.
So mom helped you. She pushed the idea. And why'd you choose these bands?
The bands were kind of a matter of convenience, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I love most of the bands that are in the book, and I don't. That end of sentence. I love most of the bands in the book. I don't love most of their stories or some of their stories. Some of them,
Yeah.
maybe in 1992 or 3, would have been less unacceptable. But, well, you read them recent. You probably
Yes, I
read the
did.
book more recently than I did, Larry.
Yes, I did.
Some of them were just very politically incorrect, and at the time, I was just excited to be getting a story from a band. I was the you know we started this probably in '92, and I'm saying we because not the royal we. The guy sharing the office with me helped, and he had some assistants who helped. So it was a group effort for sure. But we just called bands that we knew.
Yeah.
That's because there wasn't Facebook. I don't think existed at that time. It might have, maybe MySpace did, but it was all who we knew, and like, hey, do you have another buddy that will hook us up with a tour story? And our office in San Diego, we shared a wall with the Casbah, which is
Yeah.
kind of the notorious punk rock bar in San Diego. So we would I'd work until about 8 p.m. I'd go down the stairs and go right into the Casbah, and whoever was there, I'm like, hey, want to give me a tour story? So it was really haphazard, and honestly, I took everything I could get. So that's why it's a little, it's a little all over the place. There's kind of some commercial bands, and then there's some bands that no one's ever heard of, and there's bands in between.
Yep.
But
that's awesome, man.
That's how it happened. The one interview I remember a lot of them, but one of them I remember sitting in the Melvins van interviewing Buzz and Dale, and Kurt Cobain was at that show.
Oh shit.
And Dale, what?
I said, oh shit. That's cool.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so I was hoping to get one from him, which I didn't. But Dale said, oh, I was in Nirvana for a while, the drummer of the Melvins. I'm all, dude, give me a Nirvana story. And he politely refused.
All right, there you go, guys. The genesis of Hell on Wheels, a Tour Stories compilation. Don't forget, if you want to grab this copy, a used copy, you can do so by clicking that Amazon link in the description, or you can hang around until spring 2023 where you can get yourself your very new copy. You're very new? You're extremely new. Your very own new copy of this book coming up through University of Hell Press. Great to have you. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, leave me a comment. Let me know what's going on in your life. Let me know if you are a touring crew member or a band member who's done the van thing coast to coast and what your experiences were. Till then, I'll see you in the next one, man.